Ngozi sat on the floor holding her son, Chinedu, as another seizure shook his small body. Tears streamed down her face as she cried out, "God, why are you letting us suffer like this? We have always been faithful. We pray, pay our tithes, and help others. But now, we are struggling every day. What kind of father are you?" She felt helpless. Her son had been sick for years and they had no money for proper treatment. Ngozi and her husband, Chibiz, could barely afford food and their debts kept growing. Life had become too hard. Chibiz quickly moved closer and covered her mouth gently. "Don't say that, my love," he whispered. "God is always faithful. We must not lose hope." Ngozi shook her head. "I don't have any strength left, Chibiz. I am tired of struggling. I can't keep going." Chibiz held her tightly. "You have to be strong for Chinedu. He needs us." Ngozi closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She wanted to believe Chibiz, but deep inside she felt lost. She wondered if things would ever get better. Before we continue with this story, like this video, subscribe to this channel and hit notification bell, and also tell me in the comment section. Let's continue. Life had been difficult for Ngozi and Chibiz. They had been married for a few years, but nothing seemed to go well. Chinedu had been sick since he was a baby and the medical bills were too high for them to pay. Despite their struggles, Chibiz always tried to stay strong. He worked different jobs, but the money was never enough. Ngozi had stopped going out because she was ashamed of their condition. People in the neighborhood whispered about them, and it hurt her deeply. "Ngozi, I know things are hard, but we must not give up," Chibiz said one evening. "God will help us." Ngozi wiped her tears and looked at him. "I don't know how much longer I can do this. People laugh at us. We have no money. We owe so much. What if things never change?" Chibiz held her hands. "Things will change. We just need to keep trusting God." Ngozi sighed. She wished she had her husband's faith. But every day felt like a battle. She wanted to believe that one day, they would be happy again. Because they had no money, Ngozi and Chibiz bought food on credit from local shops in Abinagu. At first, the shopkeepers were kind, but as time passed, they became impatient. One afternoon, a shopkeeper shouted at Ngozi in the market. "When will you pay me my money? You have been owing for months. You and your husband are always begging." People turned to look at her. Ngozi felt her face burn with shame. She could not answer. She turned quickly and walked away. At home, she cried, "Chibiz, I can't take this anymore. I can't go outside. People insult me. We have nothing left." Chibiz sighed. "I know, my love. But we have to keep trying." When people came to their house to ask for their money, Ngozi would send Chinedu to the door to tell them, "My mother is not at home." She felt terrible for making him do this, but she didn't know what else to do. Life was becoming too painful. She did not know how much longer they could survive like this. Even though things were hard, Ngozi and Chibiz still went to church every Sunday. They believed that God would answer their prayers one day. That morning, Ngozi hesitated. "Chibiz, I don't feel like going to church today," she said. "Please, let's go," he begged. "We need to keep praying." Ngozi sighed and picked up her small purse. She had only a few coins inside, but she took them anyway. At church, she listened to the pastor preach about faith. During the offering, she held her money tightly. It was all she had, but she placed it in the offering box. "God, please help us," she prayed silently. Then, something unexpected happened. A guest minister, a prophetess, stood up. She looked around, then pointed at Ngozi. "You. Stand up," she said. Ngozi's heart pounded. She slowly stood, unsure of what would happen next. The prophetess looked straight at Ngozi and said, "There is an old woman watching you and your husband. She has sworn that you will never be happy." Ngozi gasped. The church fell silent. "This woman is jealous of you," the prophetess continued. "She does not want you to succeed. Even your son's sickness is not natural." Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. "Who is this woman?" she asked, her voice shaking. The prophetess shook her head. "You already know. Think back. The answer is in your past." Chibiz rushed to her side and held her. "Don't be afraid, my love," he whispered. The prophetess then gave them instructions. "Fast and pray for 7 days. Then take a new wrapper to every elderly woman in your family." Ngozi wiped her face. She did not understand everything, but she knew one thing: this was not an ordinary problem. After the church service, Ngozi and Chibiz decided to obey the prophetess's clear instructions. They started a strict 7-day fast and prayed with all their hearts for God's help. Every day, they gathered in their humble home to ask for mercy and guidance. They believed that by fasting and praying, they could break the curse that had plagued their family. After the fast, they planned to give a new wrapper to every elderly woman in their close family circle. Ngozi found fresh wrappers from her wedding gifts and kept them safe, trusting that this act would reverse all evil entirely. With the fast complete, Ngozi began her journey to give the wrappers. First, she traveled to her mother's home in Equilobia. There, she presented a brand new wrapper with a gentle smile and heartfelt prayer. Her mother accepted the gift with tears and blessed her warmly. Next, Ngozi went to visit her grandmother in Umuahia. She handed over a wrapper, hoping it would bring healing and change. Each visit was filled with quiet prayers and moments of hope. Ngozi believed that every wrapper given would send back all the bad energy to its source. Her faith grew with every step. After giving the wrappers, Ngozi received troubling news. Her mother called and said, "Your grandmother is very sick." Worried, Ngozi traveled to her grandmother's home in Umuahia. When she arrived, she found her frail grandmother lying in bed, barely able to speak. With a heavy heart, Ngozi asked, "Grandmother, what troubles our family?" In a trembling voice, her grandmother admitted, "I was jealous of you, Ngozi. I could not bear your happiness and I cursed our family." Tears fell from Ngozi's eyes as she listened. Though angry and hurt, she forgave her grandmother, seeking peace and healing. Her heart mended. After her grandmother's passing, Ngozi felt a mixture of sorrow and relief. Life began to change slowly for the family. Not long after the funeral, Chibiz received a surprising phone call from a local company. They offered him a job that promised a steady income and hope for the future. The news brought joy and renewed strength to their home. With careful planning and hard work, they started repaying their debts and saving a little money. Every day, their faith grew stronger as they trusted in God's plan. They looked forward to better times and new beginnings in life today. With a new job and improved finances, Ngozi and Chibiz found hope again. They began to rebuild their lives with faith and forgiveness. Each day, they prayed together and thanked God for His mercy. Their struggles slowly turned into lessons that strengthened their trust in Him. Neighbors noticed their change and began to share their own stories of hardship and recovery. The community grew closer as people forgave past wrongs and supported each other. Ngozi and Chibiz became symbols of perseverance and love. Their journey reminded everyone that even in darkness, faith can light the path to a brighter future. Moral of the story: through hardship and heartache, the power of faith, forgiveness, and resilience can turn life around. Ngozi and Chibiz showed that even in the darkest times, trust in God and the courage to forgive can heal wounds and bring new beginnings. Their journey reminds us that struggles are lessons and challenges can foster growth. Love, unity, and determination light the path toward hope and a better future. Never lose faith and always forgive those who wrong you, for it opens doors to healing and peace. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, like the video, and also tell me in comment below where you watched this video from. Thank you.